Hey y'all, it's X, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be doing a tier list of all of the quarterbacks in the league. I just found this on tiermaker.com, so this includes starters, backups, some guys who aren't even on teams, I don't think. Actually, no, Daniel Jones is on the Vikings. I always forget that. Like Jacoby Brissett, I don't even know. Is he still the backup for the Patriots? Who knows? Either way, we're going to be doing a tier list of all 32 quarterbacks plus their backups. Should be fun. I'm excited to start doing off-season content now. I'm waiting for the combine to end to do my first post-combine mock draft. I was thinking about doing like winners and losers of the combine, but I've seen so many videos like that already. Like, I think it's kind of, I think other people kind of have that content unlocked. So I'm waiting until the combine ends, but I'm telling you right now, I cannot wait to do it. Again, sorry for the lack of uploads as well. Just been pretty busy, just finishing up my senior year. Y'all know how it goes. But this week I will have five uploads in 5 days, plus a double upload for whenever that mock draft comes out, whenever the combine is done. So yeah, y'all are going to be eating this week for sure. And yeah, remember to leave a like and sub if y'all mess with the content, and let's jump right in. So, we have these tiers here. We have top 5, top 10, mid, low-end starter, which is probably like your bottom 10 QBs in the league, and then backup. I just made it pretty simple. But the fun thing about this is obviously it's the end of the year, so we don't have to worry about like including rookies, because, I mean, the rookies that played, we know how they played. But let's start this off with Josh Allen. Easy top 5, MVP of the league, whether he deserved it or not. I think Lamar Jackson was better than him in almost every statistical category this year. I will be doing these in order as well, just to kind of make it a little bit harder on myself. I'm actually going to be like ranking them within the tier, so you guys kind of understand how I actually feel about these QBs. But yeah, I think this should be fine for Josh Allen. I don't think anybody's arguing that he's not top 5. I'm going to probably say he's the 3rd or 4th best quarterback in the league, though. Jacoby Brissett, that's an easy backup. We don't really have to talk about him too much. Very, very good backup. I will say that much. Like, he could play his way into low-end starter when he's, like, hot. But, like, very serviceable backup. Very good guy to just kind of have on your team and be happy with. Joe Burrow, this is obviously top 5. He is your 3rd or 4th best QB in the league. It really depends on how you're feeling, because, like, injuries with him are a thing. His defense was horrible, so, I mean, Joe Burrow would have been in the MVP conversation had that defense held up at all last year. So it definitely sucks for him. Derek Carr, we're going to put him in low-end starter. He's kind of just been not good for the Saints, to be honest. Like, he's trending more towards this backup territory than anything. Like, he spent a lot of his career in just the definition of mid, but I think at this point he's like kind of slowing down, can't really lead you to just being a decent team. The Saints still have the most amazing roster, but yeah, I don't know. Kirk Cousins, hard to rank because he started off the season really hot. Everybody was just like, why the hell would they draft Michael Penix? We clearly see why. I still don't... Here's my thing. I still don't think it was smart. I think it was smart for them to draft Michael Penix. I don't think it was smart for them to pay Kirk Cousins all that money. Especially if you were going in knowing that there's a risk with it and that those injuries could have cooked him. Like, yes, the contingency plan of having Michael Penix was great. I just don't think you should have paid Kirk this much money. So now he's cut. I think he's going to be a great backup, but I think he's still in the same tier as Derek Carr. I don't know if I'm going to be ranking these tiers as much. I'm definitely not going to be ranking the backup tier. I'll say that much. I'm not going to be sitting here debating, I don't even know, Jacoby Brissett versus Joe Flacco. Like, I'm not doing that in my head. But, like, mid and up, I'll actually be ranking the QBs. Andy Dalton, another one. Very, very good backup. He is honestly one of the major reasons that Bryce Young has come as far as he has. I think he's had a very, very good impact on Bryce Young in his development, and I think that's why they brought him back, because they know that he's very valuable. Jaden Daniels. I'm putting him in top 10 already. I think it's a combination of having just an offensive, like, genius in Cliff Kingsbury, somebody who just understands what Jaden Daniels can do, schemes his weaknesses out of the playbook, like basically just schemes. He has a scheme that hides Jaden Daniels' weaknesses very, very well and really glorifies his strengths. And obviously Jaden Daniels is very talented. Like, we saw that at LSU last year. You guys know that if you watch any of my draft stuff from last year, I was the highest on Jaden Daniels out of anybody. While everybody was sitting here debating Drake May versus Caleb Williams, I was debating Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams. And I was too scared to say it, although I probably should have, because it seemed like people were pretty down on Caleb by the end of the year. And I just wanted to give Caleb his respect, though, because, like, I think when we get to him, I'll talk a little bit more about him, but I think he didn't have as bad of a year as people thought. But Jaden Daniels had an incredible year, led Washington to the NFC Championship. I mean, not much more that you can ask from a rookie quarterback, and he almost won them that game, too, against the Eagles. Like, not in the sense of, like, they almost won, but, like, he kept up. It wasn't his fault that they were down. I don't know why I phrase this, he almost won them the game when they were not even close to winning the game, but, like, it was not his fault that they lost. That's what I meant to say. Sam Darnold played like a top 10 QB this year at times. I think he's just mid. I think he's going to go to a different team, and he's probably going to play himself back down into this tier. It depends on what team he goes to. If he goes to, like, the Raiders, I definitely think he's going to play like a low-end starter. If he goes to a team like the Steelers, which I don't really think they're in the market for him, but let's just say the Steelers, I think he'll probably continue to be in mid. Justin Fields, this is going to be a hot take, man. I'm putting him in low-end starter. I think Justin Fields still has a lot of upside. I think locker room politics basically stopped him from being the starter last year when Russell Wilson came back, because if you pay attention to the second half of the Steelers season, like, Russell Wilson was not good. Russell Wilson was a solid game manager, but he did at times turn the ball over and throw them out of games. Like, I had him in fantasy because if you guys knew anything about my fantasy season, I drafted Anthony Richardson, like, really, really high, and I did not have a great contingency plan if that didn't work out. I ended up trading for Dak Prescott, with, like, buying really, really low on Dak because I'm like, I know the potential's sky high, and then he's out for the season, like, 2 weeks later. So, yeah, I know firsthand how bad Russell Wilson was, because he was my starter for the second half of the season. I still had a really, really good run in the playoffs. I made it to... Did I make it to the Super Bowl? I think I made it to the Super Bowl. No, I lost in the round before the Super Bowl. That's what happened. Either way, Justin Fields was really, really solid. He didn't... Like, the offense wasn't insane, and I know George Pickens did not love Justin Fields as his quarterback, but Justin Fields did enough to get the job done. He wasn't really, like, turnover prone. You had the threat of him with his legs, which, like, Russ in theory should still have, but he's also old. So, like, he really does not have that dual threat ability anymore. I think if Justin Fields ends up in a good situation where a team that really has faith in him still being able to develop, because he's only, like, 26 years old, I think you can maybe get something out of him. Joe Flacco, backup, not going to spend too much time on this. Jared Goff, I have a hard time ranking. He's somewhere in between mid and top 10. And again, this is subject to change. I'm kind of just thinking this off the top of my head. So, I do think that he is probably in, like, this second, third tier of quarterbacks. I don't really feel comfortable putting him on the same level as Sam Darnold, though. That's really where the problem comes from. I don't really feel comfortable putting him in Sam Darnold conversations, just because Sam Darnold only did it for one season. I'm going to put him top 10 for now. He might end up being numbered, like, 9 or 10, but we'll leave him here for now. Justin Herbert, why is he not in top 5 conversations? Well, he threw, like, 3 interceptions in a playoff game, and everybody hates him now. Still a top 10 quarterback, though. Justin Herbert is incredible. I think people do kind of forget that he did not have great weapons around him this year. Like, he definitely made the most out of a Quentin Johnston, Josh Palmer receiving core. Like, yes, Ladd McConkey is amazing. You're not just going to get it done with one receiver. Like, J.K. Dobbins was there to help, obviously, but, like, when he went down, things obviously got a little bit harder for him. I think Justin Herbert's still very good. And I think... I don't really think he's being utilized as well with this team either. Like, I kind of felt like Harbaugh kind of treated him like J.J. McCarthy in a weird way, where it's like, he has the tools, but he's just forced to being a game manager for some reason. Like, Justin Herbert, we've seen him throw for almost 5,000 yards. So, I don't know. I feel like at times they just kind of force him into being not like an elite passer, and he's just like, no, just throw the 5-yard check down, make the smart play. I don't know. Jalen Hurts, he is top 10. However, when you guys see the quarterbacks that I'm going to put above him, and yes, I put Justin Herbert above him, fight me about it. I don't care. We're going to talk about this now because I am ranking Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's not a top 7 quarterback in the league. I think he is most likely within that 8 to 10 range. I feel like we just kind of look over the fact, and yes, listen, if you want to say I'm a Giants fan and I'm mad, go right ahead, but if you really want to just use that as like coping for like the actual evidence I'm going to provide, go right ahead, but clearly you're just stupid. I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback. We've seen how he's played when he has less than the greatest roster ever constructed around him. Let's just put it into context, right? Saquon Barkley, best running back in the league by a country mile. Derrick Henry is a close second, but like Saquon very much had it for the entire year. Let's talk about weapons. You have A.J. Brown, top 5 receiver when healthy. Devontae Smith, top 20 receiver when healthy, right? Tight ends, Dallas Goedert, top 5 to 7 tight end when healthy. Probably top 5, like guaranteed when healthy, right? Offensive line, this past year, statistically the greatest offensive line in NFL history. Saquon Barkley had an average of 2 yards per carry before being touched, which is double the average of any other team in the league. The second highest was like 1.1. And the Eagles had 2 yards per carry before he was touched. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. That means on almost every single play, they had a positive gain. That's unheard of, right? So they're rushing, they're run blocking. I don't know what I was trying to say there. They're run blocking, obviously some of the best in the league. I don't think Hurts is a talented passer in that sense. He's a good runner. I'm not going to go as far as saying he's a tush-push merchant, although I don't think that play should be in the league. I truthfully just don't agree with the fact that it's okay to have 2 linemen assisting the rush, like the runner. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's just stupid, in my opinion. And you've seen teams like Washington try and stop it and literally almost give up a free touchdown because they continue to jump off sides, because they know you can't stop it. Like, it's borderline a cheat play, and I just feel like it's not smart scheming, it's just, let's just throw a bunch of bodies in and see what happens. I don't think it's smart scheming, I think it's just physics. Yeah, and on top of that, the Eagles also have a top 3 defense in the league, if not the best defense in the league. Like, I still think, like, I would probably take the Chiefs above them, because the Chiefs defense carried them to the Super Bowl this year. And I would probably say the Ravens kind of fell off this season, so it's probably like Chiefs, Eagles, and then like Detroit. Because Detroit had some bad games where they gave up a lot of points. But like, I would say like Chiefs, Eagles, Detroit are like the top defenses. If you want to throw in like, oh, actually no, Chiefs, Eagles, Vikings. Those are the top defenses. And then I would probably say like Detroit, Baltimore, things like that. But yeah, I just think Jalen Hurts does not have to do a lot. It was even shown last year where it's just like Saquon Barkley is the reason that this team went so far. I feel like if Saquon Barkley got hurt, they would not have had a similar season. Even if Saquon Barkley just put up like 1,200 yards instead of 2,000, I feel like we're just in a lot different of a position in talking about Jalen Hurts. Because there were times last year, like, to also put this into context, when both Jalen Hurts and Kenny Pickett went down and Tanner McKee, the 3rd string quarterback, had to come in, why were people just like, is Tanner McKee low-key a starting quarterback in the league? No, he's just playing behind the greatest team ever constructed. So I do think that listen, I'm also somewhat frustrated because I saw that Robert Griffin tweet where he's like, if Jalen Hurts wins a Super Bowl, he's not in the same conversation as Lamar, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. He's above them. I'm like, oh my God, we're putting Super Bowl wins as a quarterback stat now? That's beyond me. Either way, I could honestly just make a 20-minute Jalen Hurts rant video, and I honestly might do it. I genuinely am tired of hearing top 5 conversations for Jalen Hurts. It doesn't make sense. Either ways, we're going with my GOAT, Lamar Jackson. I think he's the second best quarterback in the league. I mean, he's just constantly disrespected. I think one thing people just don't talk about because it's just constant hate, the bar is always higher for Lamar Jackson for whatever reason. Why is Lamar Jackson always the, but he can't beat Mahomes though, or the, he fails in the playoffs and hasn't made a Super Bowl yet, when Josh Allen hasn't made a Super Bowl yet, he can't beat Mahomes either. Joe Burrow has finally made a Super Bowl, but people don't consider Joe Burrow better. Like, I mean, I guess some people probably consider Joe Burrow better than Lamar, but like, still, Lamar's coming off of statistically his best passing season in his career, put up 41 passing touchdowns, so we're not going to sit here and be like, he had Jalen Hurts syndrome where Derrick Henry carried him. No. They had the best rushing offense in the NFL. Lamar Jackson actually slimmed down in the offseason to be more agile and didn't even need to do it. He did it and had like one of his lower rushing totals in his career because he just became the second best passer in the league. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. I'm tired of Lamar Jackson hate, man. The goalpost is always just constantly moved for him, and I get it. He has his playoff failures. I am not going to sit here and be like, he is perfect in every way, shape, and form. No, he has his playoff failures. There are times in the playoffs where he chokes. Like, I will say, like, the game against the Bills, I do think that they should have won that game. Mark Andrews did sell that game. But Lamar Jackson also threw two questionable interceptions, but he brought them back. So I almost think, like, I don't want to say he beat the choking allegations, but, like, it's not like he had a horrible overall game, because he brought them back, and they would have won the game if Mark Andrews knew how to catch the ball. Anyways, that was a long, like, rant. This video is going to be so long for no reason. Daniel Jones, bottom of backup tier. I hate him. No. Daniel Jones is probably low end starter. I've had this conversation with my dad a couple of times, actually. I feel like if Daniel Jones weren't on the Giants, he would actually be a serviceable starter. It's just the fact that he had to run for his life constantly. Like, we saw the 1 year where the Giants weren't absolutely the worst pass blocking offensive line in the league. Daniel Jones was able to bring us to the playoffs. Like, not that he led the team or put up any impressive stats, but he managed the game well enough to bring us to the playoffs and get us a playoff victory. So, I do think that he could be in this tier with guys like Derek Carr, Justin Fields, current day Kirk Cousins, because he's done, or he has the capabilities to do similar things to a Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins, what I think Justin Fields could do. Mac Jones at this point, career backup in my opinion. You can probably put him like up here. Like, Joe Flacco is not great as a backup this year. Yeah, Mac Jones is just, he is what he is. He kind of got ruined. His development was ruined because Josh McDaniels got hired as the Raiders head coach, and then ever since then he had terrible offensive coordinators. It was just all bad. Trevor Lawrence, he is another very, very hard one to rank. Like, 3 years ago, we were entering top 10 conversation, or projecting him in top 10 conversations. As a rookie, we're like, he's about to be the greatest quarterback of all time. One of the best quarterback prospects we've ever seen. He is really trending towards this low-end starter, and I know a lot of his injury. He also has a terrible, like, coaching staff. I'm going to give him some grace for now, because Jacksonville is possibly one of the worst situations in the league. He just doesn't really like, Travis Etienne was not good this year. I don't know. Like, Brian Thomas was great, and hopefully that will give him some cushioning in the future. I don't know. I'm going to be kind to Trevor Lawrence, at least for now. And we're gonna show him some respect and put him in mid for now. But he's really trending towards down here. He has not been great recently. Will Levis, either high-end backup or a low-end starter. He's somewhere in between there, where it's like, I'm sure he could be a starter. Will Levis was just a meme farm this year, where every week we just got a ridiculous-looking Will Levis picture. It was kind of funny. I'm going to put him in low-end starter at, like, the bottom, probably above Daniel Jones. Like, there's tools there, but it just doesn't seem like a lot's happening. Drew Lock, very solid backup. We'll put him, like, right in the middle. Jordan Love, he's not quite top 10, I think he's right outside of it. I'm going to put him in mid for now. I do think Jordan Love is a good quarterback. But I don't know. I think he has his moments where he's really, really talented and he's very good. And he has a great coach in Matt LaFleur. I just don't know what it is with Jordan Love that I like. He's really, really good, like, pocket presence and things like that. Like, he moves very well in the pocket. He has good improvisation. I just don't really know what it is. I feel like maybe he needs, like, a true wide receiver one. Maybe. Like, the one thing I don't love about this Packers offense, and we heard, like, some false rumors of them chasing DK Metcalf, which I would have loved for them. Christian Watson's not a wide receiver one. Romeo Doubs is not a wide receiver one. Jaden Reed damn sure ain't a wide receiver one. That is a slot receiver. Dontavian Wicks is a rotational receiver. Like, he doesn't have a true number one weapon. I do think that hurts the development of a young quarterback of, like, Tom Brady was the type of quarterback who can elevate mid-tier receivers into being, like, high-end weapons and go get them paid. Jordan Love obviously doesn't really have that ability. So I do think that, like, he does need some kind of, like, safety net to really help him elevate into that top 10 conversation. I haven't really watched a lot of Packers games, so I need to watch him and see what actually is kind of holding him back. Patrick Mahomes had his worst year of his career, honestly. I'm still going to rank him as the best quarterback in the league because, I mean, I'm not going to change that after one season, although his Super Bowl was also not good. So we're watching, Patty. We're watching. We're on hate watch right now. Drake May. Man, Drake May's potential is going to be like top 10. It's just the Patriots need to not kill him. I'm going to put him in mid-tier for now because I think he played really, really well last season. He needs to turn down the fumbles and all that stuff, but I think if he actually has some protection, that will kind of just come naturally. I do think he is better than everybody in this tier already as a rookie, so I will definitely give him that. I mean, he performed really, really well when he finally came in to start. Baker Mayfield, he's also going to go on the top of mid-tier. I feel like mid is such a harsh name just because, like, you know, we're going to change the name to good starter. Mid just seems disrespectful and, like, I don't like them. It just means, like, you are not a top 10 guy, but you're probably, like, top 20. So we'll name this good starter to be more polite, because why not? Baker Mayfield's been really, really good. Like, it's honestly been really, like, I've really enjoyed seeing his kind of career revival with Tampa Bay, and I hope it continues even though Liam Cohen's gone. But he's just been really, really solid for them at times. Like, he's led them to the playoffs multiple times now. Like, he just gets the job done. He doesn't really, like, throw them out of games. Like, this is just a completely different player than who we saw in, like, Carolina. Like, this is what we saw in his rookie year in Cleveland, and we all know, like, development is not linear, right? Like, not every single player is going to have the Josh Allen development story of, like, okay, terrible his first year, making improvements in his second year, third year, oh yeah, this is a top 10 guy, fourth and fifth year, and so on, okay, this is one of the best QBs in the league. That's not how development goes for everybody. Like, there are ups and downs. We're seeing it right now with, like, CJ Stroud, who we're going to get to later, of, like, great rookie year, not so great of a second year. And maybe he'll bounce back in his third year, maybe he won't. But development is not linear. So sometimes these guys just need time. And I think it's been really, really cool seeing that for Baker Mayfield. Because he's not, like, a unlikable player at all. Like, honestly, I think a lot of people are rooting for him now, and I'm happy he got paid. JJ McCarthy, I'm not even going to rank. Like, I'm not going to rank him based off of, like, the 3 preseason games that we saw him in, so I'm just going to leave him off the list for now. Didn't play a regular season game. We'll see what he does next year. Gardner Minshew, it was fun while it lasted. You are probably down here in backups. Like, I don't even think he's, like, a high-end backup anymore. Like, he's more of just a, like, cool to have in the QB room kind of guy, but I don't really want him touching the field unless he has to. Kyler Murray. I'm going to move JJ McCarthy down here. Kyler Murray. He might be the hardest quarterback to rank in the entire NFL because the Cardinals just make absolutely zero noise every single year. And they are just mid. They are just the definition of a mid team. I don't even know what Kyler Murray... let's take a look at Kyler Murray's stats last year. We're going to do this together because I don't even know what he did last year. 21 touchdowns, 11 picks. We'll go pro football reference. What did he do, like, rushing? Oh. Okay. What the hell? Alright. Passing, rushing, receiving. Let's see. He had 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. Like, yeah, he was okay. Like, he's not bad. He's not a low-end star. I think he's just going to go in this good starter tier. Thing is, I just don't want to put too many people. He's probably, like, right here. I think that's pretty accurate. Like, Kyler should not have gotten paid as much as he did, to be honest. I don't think it also helps that he doesn't really have great receiving weapons on that team. Like, Marvin Harrison Jr. was kind of underwhelming this year. I think he'll bounce back for sure, though. But yeah, I think that's, like, I don't know. I don't really know how to rank Kyler. He's somewhere in this good starter tier. We'll see how he ends up playing from here on out. Bo Nix, honestly, he might already be in good starter as well. I think he's, like, we might have to bump Drake May down. Even though I think he's better than all these guys, he might, like, him and Trevor Lawrence. Like, I think Bo Nix played better than both of these guys already. Like, we've seen what Trevor Lawrence can do. It's just, I don't know if his situation's amazing. Bo Nix is in the opposite, though. He's in a great situation. As a great coach, the team is improving. Like, the players around him aren't bad. Like, Courtland Sutton's solid. He has his teammate Troy Franklin. They have a pretty solid draft pick this year to hopefully go get, like, Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren. Just another weapon for him. Like, the vibes are looking up over there. Aiden O'Connell. Backup. Crazy how the Raiders have, like, all backups on their team. Aiden O'Connell's cool at times. Better than Gardner. Probably worse than Mac Jones. I don't know. Michael Penix, probably, like, bottom of low-end starter. He showed flashes. Do I want him more than Will Levis? Definitely more than Daniel Jones. We'll say because of upside, we'll put him above Will Levis, but it's pretty close. Dak Prescott, he played so bad this year. I feel like he has the respect of good starter, though. He's not as good as Baker, not as good as Love. Might be better than Darnold on an average basis, but I don't think he's better than Kyler. I think I might just put him, like, I think I might have to move Kyler here. And I think we put Dak here. I'm not going to rank Bo Nix over him just based off of one season. Trevor Lawrence really might not end up being in this tier. That's the only reason Bo Nix is over him. I feel like I might be projecting with Drake May too much. Yeah, I think I'm going to move Drake May down. I think I'm just projecting a little bit too much with him right now. Like, based off of what he actually did last year, I think he probably is a low-end starter, but I know he's going to be better than that. So yeah, I think we're going to leave Dak right here for now. We'll see. Like, he's around the 15th best quarterback in the league right now. He usually plays better than that. He's usually in these top 10 conversations, but last year was not good. Brock Purdy, probably top 10. Probably, is he above Goff? At his best, he's probably above Goff, but I think Goff is also, like, very, very good. I think it's probably going to look something like this. Is Brock Purdy top 10, though? Like, I don't know, man. Like, what did Brock Purdy do this year? Was he hurt? I didn't really hear a lot about Brock Purdy. I'm not going to lie. He put up... We'll look at ESPN this time. Oh, he was not great this year. 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks. Wow, that was not great. It's going to be really interesting to see when he gets paid. Because, like, what is he going to command as a starter? Like, it's kind of weird. He played 15 games this year? Huh. Yeah, I don't think Brock Purdy's top 10. I think he's probably, like, here. Baker might end up being the last one in top 10. They could end up looking like that. Spencer Rattler, I have high hopes for him. You are a backup right now. You didn't really even play. He played a couple of games, but, like, we'll probably throw him here. I think there's upside. Anthony Richardson is probably low-end starter. I still think there's a lot of upside. He might just need time, but based off of how he's played, he's probably, like, right here. Like, he was not that good. He's probably above him. He's probably above him, too. It's probably, like, right there. Aaron Rodgers last year, I think didn't play well a lot of the time, but it was also pretty solid as well sometimes. Like, I don't think the stats are really going to show it for him. Yeah, actually, no, he was still really solid. 20 touchdowns, 11 picks. He's probably, like, higher end of good starter. It's just the antics that come with him that piss people off. He's probably, like, right here. He's probably, like, right in the middle of good stuff. I feel like he might be better than some of these guys, though. He's definitely better than Kyler. Yeah, I think I like this right here. I think we're gonna move Baker up to top 10 for now, and we'll see where we go with this. Is this Mason Rudolph? I don't even know when the. I remember you had like a couple of games last year that you played. We'll throw you in here. Cooper Rush, backup. I probably don't want you over any of these guys. Geno Smith, probably very, very top of low end starter. Matt Stafford, here's the final quarterback I'm putting in top 5. Matthew Stafford is so underrated by like casual NFL fans because I feel like one, people don't really watch Rams games like that. And two, I feel like people the stats don't really match the eye tests in a good way. Like Matt Stafford's stats are never as good as like actually watching him, I feel like. He's so incredible. Like probably out of the top 5, the second or third best pure passer. Probably the third best pure passer in the league. Like, it's definitely like Mahomes 1, probably Burrow 2, Stafford 3. And then probably Lamar 4, Allen 5. Like, out of these top 5 guys, like, best, like, pure passers, not just, like, overall quarterbacks, it's probably Mahomes, Burrow. It's really, like, hard to, like, you guys don't even understand how high I am on Matt Stafford. I hope he doesn't regress next year. He probably will a little bit, because he's just old, but, like, it's really hard to differentiate these two, especially because they're in, like, drastically different situations. CJ Stroud, good starter for sure. It's just where are we putting him? Probably right here. I usually rank him, like, very similarly to Jordan Love. I feel like they're, like, pretty identical in terms of, like, where they're at. It's just kind of hard to choose which one is better. I think we're going to leave Jordan Love above him for now. I don't know, CJ was pushing top 10 conversations last year. Jordan Love was, like, also there, but yeah. Tua, man, the injuries really suck for him. He's probably somewhere, like, down here in good starter. He's a top 20 quarterback, but, man, he just did not look the same. The injuries are really hurting him. DTR, bottom backup. Deshaun Watson, bottom backup. Don't even want him on the team, honestly. Honestly, we're going to put you down here with JJ McCarthy. I don't even want you as a back. You know what? No. You get your own tier. Matter of fact, yeah, Deshaun Watson gets his own tier. This is prison. We're making the prison tier. There we go. Perfect. Right where he belongs. Caleb Williams. Oh yeah, this is kind of where I got to go in depth about my Caleb Williams analysis. Caleb Williams was not great at what Caleb Williams does last year. Caleb Williams played a lot of hero ball in college, made a lot of big plays, things like that. He did not do that in the NFL. However, what he did do was he was very, very solid at controlling the ball. He also had one of the worst coaches in the NFL in Matty Eberflus. Didn't have a good offensive coordinator. He now has Ben Johnson as his head coach. Ben Johnson hopefully puts him into these conversations. We're going to put him probably top of low-end starter because I don't think he was quite a top 20 guy, but he was definitely like right outside of it. Russell Wilson, I think at this point is a backup. Very like we'll put him like top of the backup tier. He's probably going to be a low-end starter, honestly. Yeah, I think I can't disrespect Russ like that. He's definitely a low-end starter. He actually has to be on par with Justin Fields. And honestly, I'd probably put him above most of these guys. I'd probably put him, like, here. Jameis Winston, fun as hell, does not win your team games, but he throws for a lot of yards, and it's really cool. For vibes alone, we're putting Jameis Winston up here. Just off of pure vibes as a quarterback, Jameis Winston is honestly in his own tier. If we were doing a vibes tier list, Jameis Winston is here, off the charts, bro. But as a football player, he's probably here? Like, I really like him. He's a good backup. I'd probably rather have Andy Dalton. Yeah, I think he's probably right about here. Really good backup. Doesn't win your team games, but puts up fun stats, and that's really all we need. Bryce Young is trending upwards. Probably still. I don't think he's good enough. I need to see more of a sample size to put him in good starter. So I think just like Caleb, we're just going to put him like up here and just kind of call it. And that's basically the list. I'm pretty happy with where we're at. I think if I had to shuffle anything around, I think the top 5 is perfect. Just the way I want it. I think Jaden Daniels is pretty firmly at 6 for me. Maybe Baker should be a little bit higher. It feels weird putting Hurts under Herbert. I can't lie to you. Especially because Herbert is kind of in the same situation, but not putting up the production of Hurts. It's just the difference in teams, and I really want to make it known that I am holding Jalen Hurts back because he has the greatest team ever assembled, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, statistically, is one of the greatest teams, if not the greatest roster ever assembled. Should I move Goff? Do I put him here? I just don't feel comfortable putting him that high. Man, Herbert is just kind of high, though. That's the problem. I think we're going to probably switch this. Herbert might just be a little bit too high. Because he did not outplay either of these two last year either, but I know he has the talent to be better than this. I think we're going to probably do this. Because Baker at his best is probably like here, but we're not ranking, I mean, we're ranking them for what they are. I feel like I'd rather have Baker over Goff too. Are you saying Herbert is the 10th best QB in the league? I mean, he hasn't outperformed either of these two in the last 2 years. Yeah, screw it. We're going with it. Purdy I'm happy with here. I think he's firmly like the 11th best quarterback. We'll go Stroud 12, you 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think that's pretty fair. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Wow. Exactly 32 starters. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I think Daniel Jones is firmly the 32nd best starter in the NFL. I think he's probably a little bit higher than that. I think it's probably like this. I think Will Levis is probably the worst starting quarterback in the league. Maybe it's Justin Fields, but no. I think he has higher potential than that. And he showed it this year when he played. Really, it should be like Derek Carr. Derek Carr was horrible last year. Really, it should be Kirk. Kirk got cut from his team, basically. But I know Kirk can play better than this. That's the thing. Like, he started off the season really strong and then just started throwing a bunch of picks. Yeah, either way, this is honestly a perfect tier list in my opinion. Nobody can combat this. Yeah, if we do a kickers tier list, we'll also have the person tier for Justin Tucker. But yeah, remember to leave a like and sub if y'all mess with the content, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.